All right, everybody. Made it through traffic. Happy Thursday. Got a good day going. Had have the podcast. Talked about the value of social media, or just the cautionary reality of social media, and that you need to remember that you're posting out things there, and people can take screenshots. They can make it their own. It's not like you have a monopoly on some of those things, so people can repost it, they can retweet it, they can share it, they can basically DJ out the content as they see fit. At the same time, think about some of the stuff that you put out there. Do you want it to be out there for 20 years? It's your personal brand, your personal reputation are those things that you always want to stand by. And so for some people, they just want to think long and hard about that. Next was just driving out here. Again, I like to listen to an audio book on the way down, so I was listening to one in English and then one in Spanish, and then listened to a little Zig Ziglar this morning, so that was nice to get the old mind going. And then let's see. So today I have Rotary today at noon, and I base a lot of organizations. I go to try them out to see what they're about, and then I'll make a judgment call whether it's something I want to devote time to, resources, and I would encourage you to do the same. I think a lot of times people, they feel like they have to join organizations just because that's what is kind of expected, and they don't even like the organization. They don't value what's happening there. So just food for thought. Here, hold on one second. I need to throw away the garbage. Had a little cutie here. All right. So do a little bit of, I was able to do a post as well on LinkedIn. Probably do a post as well on Instagram when I get to the office. Got to review the goals for the day, and reminded of the great quote that successful people will create habits that failures won't. So they'll create habits and things that failures won't do. And it's not that successful people enjoy doing that. It's just that they know that it's necessary in order to get to the next level, or necessary in order to do it. Turns out. Quote of the day by Mark Twain. Courage is resistance to fear, master of fear, not the absence of fear. All right, everybody. Morning. Had a great morning. Did the one-on-one coaching, and then rewrote out my goals, printed off enough copies to constantly keep them in the top of my mind. I think so many people, they don't write down their goals, and it just becomes wishful thinking or hoping that things go the way that they want to. When you really write it down, you really decide whether you want that or not. And then when you daily read these different goals, you really start establishing whether it's really what you want in life, because you're constantly reading it. And so if you're constantly reading this and re-looking at it, then you're going to define whether you're really going to want to go after these things or not. And it'll no longer be wishful thinking. It'll be things that are being put into action for yourself. Going to a Rotary meeting now. Had an interview with a prospective client, or prospective employee, excuse me. So that was pretty good. Good conversation. So excited about being able to bring them on board, having them join the org. So we'll see where we go from here. All right, everybody. So Rotary buddy Mark Struczewski is going to be speaking. So excited to see him speak, and also be able to meet some new strangers there. Looking forward to working the room and getting to meet some new friends I haven't met yet. See you there. Sherm's out. All right, there, everybody. Had a great time networking with some of the Rotarians. So as a reminder, you're looking, when you're networking, good quality conversations, not quantity. If you are looking for quantity, you want it 3 to 4, maybe even 5 max, but then you want to keep it tight so that way you know who you're talking to. So had a great conversation with someone, and we'll see where it goes. Sherm's out. Hey there, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic day. Things went really well today, productive. Had to do some stuff just on the computer, getting some stuff completed there, transferring over some data, and then also inputting in some information, shooting out emails. So that was a good chunk of my morning. Then went to the Rotary. That was a ton of fun. You saw a little bit about that. And number one, I was reminded, join organizations that you have an affinity for, you align with their purpose, their mission, their values. Also, when you go there, you're looking for like-minded individuals, people that you can really enjoy getting to know. And a lot of times in those networking opportunities, I'm looking for quality relationships, people that I can remember, people that remember me, and we can really start establishing a relationship that's beneficial mutually and not just me taking something from them or them just taking from me. And then came back. Unfortunately, appointment had to reschedule, and then was able to finish it off then with some more, just some data entry that just needed to get done today, and finish it off with talking with Andrew. And one of the things as we were talking was about sometimes people, they shirk responsibility because they'd rather do the fun things in life. And then the other thing that came up was just this prediction that I have about YouTube. So if I'm, let's say, the Cartoon Network or, especially the Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, I'd look at putting up programs right onto YouTube and start establishing a channel. And they might already be doing it, but that's where I'm thinking, if I'm ABC, NBC, CBS, start creating your own channel on YouTube and putting out content that you have on YouTube. YouTube came out recently with the Cobra Kai, the reboot of the Karate Kid. They had a TV version of it, really enjoyed it, fantastic stuff. But the reason why it came up is because I was talking to Andrew, who's 22 years old, and then I look at my children, 13, 11, and 8, and the majority of what they consume is YouTube. So there's a huge opportunity, I think, for YouTube to just dominate the entertainment sphere as we know it. Obviously, streaming is really big. We have Netflix, you have Amazon Prime, you have Roku, Spring, I think, is another one. And so there's definitely, we're consuming content in a much different way. Even Redbox has the ability to do some streaming instead of having to go through the frustration of going to a box and making it there by 9 o'clock so you don't get charged the extra fee or losing this little disc. So there's something just to be said for seeing where things are going and making sure that you get in front of it. So let's see what happens. This is September 13, 2018. Let's see how YouTube dominates the marketplace here in the next 5 years. Sherm's out.